Welcome back to the channel. CLFurlong here, and we are all about running, reselling, lifestyle, and everything in between. And today, that is exactly what we're doing. We are going through the everything in between, a bit of the lifestyle, and the whole purpose of this video is to share some of the outside of things that I'm doing or like to do or love, or just some of the questions people have had outside of the reselling and outside of the running journey. So we're going to touch on 3 points today, which is around my chickens. People have been asking, show more of my chickens, who are my chickens, all that jazz. So we're going to touch on that very soon, and then we're going to do a bit of a preview of the things that I like to collect and just a small little tour of those items. Some of them I can't show because they are in storage. And then the third thing is my share portfolio, talking about slightly about how I approach my shares, but more so, you know, what's the growth been for 2021, and also revealing the portfolio in terms of, you know, classification and industry and things like that. So 3 things to get into today, a little bit different than the usual videos. Of course, if you've got questions along the way, drop them down in the comments, and let's get into it. So context for the chickens. So a couple of years ago, we were doing a veggie garden project, essentially building out, you know, from scratch, building zero up a veggie garden so that we could become a bit more self-sufficient in terms of growing our own crops, growing our own veggies. This is more just your salads, and there were some other things as well. But in doing so, I wanted to get some chickens, 4 chickens, so that we could have eggs coming in every day as well. So we purchased 4 chickens, and over a series of time, we eventually got a nice big coop. We upgraded their coop, and yeah, they've been really, really great just to have as pets. You know, a lot of people say you have pet chickens, and some people find that weird, but for me, they've really been just a way to kind of escape some of the realities as well, just because they're fun to watch. They're really, really good for mental health as well, just because they are so pleasing and fun, and they're just funny birds, and I've always been challenging myself, maybe I should start filming them spontaneously, just because they do so many stupid things, which just makes my day so much, because they are just really some curious creatures, and they bring a lot of love. So I'm going to show you some footage, show you who they are, and let's get into that. All right, we have Pepper over there, we have Ziggy over here, and we have Molly over here, no, Daisy over here, and this one is Molly. Huh? Cheeky girls. Huh? Huh? All doing good? Yeah. So I really do love my chickens. It's you know, they are like my little babies, my girls as I like to call them, and they have such character and personality. Each one of them, Molly, Ziggy, Pepper, and Daisy, and I think that's what I love so much about them, is that they do come with such different strengths and weaknesses, or I guess personalities, and they show that in so many different ways. So if you'd like to see more of the chickens, or if you have any questions, do let me know. I'm no pro when it comes to chickens, but I've got 4 chickens and I've had them for a few years, so absolutely love them. So we're going to jump into some of the collections that I like to collect, and you know, over the years I've collected more and less, I guess, or changed it up a little bit, but I guess over the last few years I haven't really collected as much, but it's probably been in the last 6 months that I have. And you know, a bit of my YouTube backdrop there, in my videos you see that there's a lot of Star Wars, there's some Pokemon, there's some Zelda, and not really in this background, but I also love Zoids, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. But you know, these aren't necessarily everything that I collect. These are just some of the things that I've got, you know, accessible to show. And of course, if there's more curiosity or more questions, I'm more than happy to share or do a bit deeper dive and things are a bit of a mess at the moment, so I haven't necessarily cleaned up as well. So I also collect some Lego, and some of that's in storage, so I can't necessarily show. But all these different things that are a part of my childhood, things that I've loved as a kid, or wanted to love as a kid, and I didn't get to have as a kid. So kind of just enjoying the moments now in terms of reliving the childhood, but now that I can afford it and things like that, they're just small little hobbies on the side that I'd like to do. So let's jump into the collection overview. So you can see is a bit of a view of everything in my backdrop, and I've got my video games here, Switch, Xbox, and just a little Wide Awake St. Alley collectible, GameCube games, which from my childhood, The Legend of Zelda was probably one of my most favorite games, The Wind Waker that is. Used to also play the Master Quest of Ocarina of Time, and also Metroid Prime. I'm super keen for this to come out again on, if it ever does, on Switch, because that was one of my favorite OGs as well. Current game that I'm playing is It Takes Two, which is probably one of the funnest games I've played in a long time. Here's my Switch games as well, which I haven't played a lot of them either. Here's some Pokemon cards fresh from the last pack pull that I did, or last pack break that I did the other week. Got some Star Wars postcards here, which I've had these since way back when. Can't remember where we got these from, but yeah, I've had them ever since I was a kid. So I've always kept them with me. Just some Lego, Star Wars fan, as you know, Shadows of the Empire inbox, complete inbox from Nintendo 64. Obviously, I'm not going to open that up. I've got Star Wars: The Phantom Menace there that you can see there too, which that was a nice gift, or I purchased it from Diary of a Flipper, Pokemon, DS, and then you've got the SNES, Pokemon stamps, some more Lego, and then these two, Super Mario World on SNES and Zelda Link to the Past on SNES as well. I'm not going to get them out just because it's a bit hard, but those were my favorite games as kids as well. There was some manga as well of Zelda, some of the books I collect. And you can see some more Pokemon stuff here. I've got a Zelda Ocarina of Time mug, and then you've got some Pokemon cards here. So a whole bunch of different things. These are just from fresh pulls, and also there's a couple here that I have purchased over time just because I wanted to have them. This was a gift from Diary of a Flipper, so thank you, mate. And this one I actually won. I actually won this from my first ever Pokemon stream that I was on. Well, actually I signed up for. Game Boy Color, Pokemon Gold, complete inbox, the whole works. And then I've also got the silver there over on the side. As you can see, just some more Pokemon cards. I haven't set all this up properly. Dragonite as well, because I've just been getting, and I haven't been changing how I'm storing everything. So Pokemon Silver, complete inbox as well. Donkey Kong Country, well, Donkey Kong Land, basically on Game Boy. And I've got 4 Vivid Voltage boxes right here, 36 packs in each one. One of these I'll be breaking open for my charity stream that I'm doing for my birthday. A little spoiler there. I've got 4 of these. I'll just be doing one for this charity stream, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the rest yet. There's that mug again. I've got a few other little things hidden around too. Now, something else that I like to collect is just some plushies. I like to find these in the thrift and then add them to this wall. Just some different Pikachus. The big collection that I have is Zoids, as you can see here up on screen. These I've been collecting since I was a kid. I try and get more and more as I do, but they're so expensive. I've got all the boxes for these, they're in storage. I love this as a kid. And then I've got some more over here. I do apologize with the lighting, it's a bit rough. And then what I can show you of my Lego collection is there's all this Star Wars Lego that I've got. It's just in a big cabinet, really shoddy lighting, but I actually have a lot of sealed stuff as well, which is in storage. Got some about 2 or 3 UCSs. Yeah, so I do have quite a lot of other Lego as well. Got some UCSs, I've got some other stuff not related to Star Wars, and I've got a lot of things that I've been putting together as investments and to collect over a long period of time. But really, that's a bit of a sneak peek of the Lego that I have, and actually all the collections. So if you do have questions, of course, I could go into a lot more detail into these, and there's a lot more that I haven't shown. But this is just to give you some context of the types of things that I am into, that I love to collect, and I've been exploring over the last couple of years and growing into a bit more. So yeah, that's the collections. If you do have questions, let me know in the comments below. Now, the third thing that I want to get into is my stock portfolio, talking a bit about, the growth for this year, and also, how I'm investing, and also, what that kind of looks like. However, there is some context I need to set. This is very, very important. So first thing is, like, I've been doing this since 2014, so 7 years I've been doing this, almost 8 years. So people need to realize this is not going to happen overnight, and I've learned a lot along the way, and it's been a journey. And I think that's important with anything. You have to put the time into these things. Some people can get, some really good investments, but it's not always the case. Number two is, I've been doing regular investments usually every single month, probably more so in the last 3 years. But for the first 4 years, I was kind of just experimenting, testing, and playing. And the third thing is, this is not advice, right? So, anything I say here doesn't mean you should go do it. It's just things that have worked out for me. And it's probably my recommendations in terms of, making sure you just tread your own path and, seek advice if you need to. But this is not advice. I can't say do this and you will get that, because it's 7 years in the making. I will say regular investments do help. So the first thing that we're going to touch on is the 2021 growth. And as you can see here on screen, this is how I track it. I've been tracking it since the start of this year, because one thing I wanted to do is see the progress over each day. Now, what I do is, I get the updates each day, put it into a bit of into a template, and fills out. Now, what I'll be able to do is see at the end of the year, what was the average per day? What was the average over a period of time to see the growth? Now, that's just what I like to do. But as you can see here, the growth for this year has actually been pretty good. It's actually almost at 30%, sitting around 85,500. So once again, this has come from existing and continuous investments, and that's over a long period of time of compounding, which is the 7 years. So if you see the top, this is this year alone. Whereas if you look, and I've been tracking this from about February, but if you jump back to what I've been doing in the last 7 years, so I invest in 3 areas, right? I've got the Australian Stock Exchange, I've got New York Stock Exchange, and then I've also got cryptocurrency, which is the FX that you can see on screen. So as you can see, this didn't start to grow until December 2018. So it took a while for things to move, and then there was a big jump, and then it's kind of taken off. So it is split very, very well in terms of diversity between US and Australia, but over time it has grown and grown and grown. And I think in the last year it's grown more almost than it has in the prior years. So it's been quite overwhelming to see this progress, and I have a goal for this year to reach to 400,000. So hopefully we will get there. So just a bit of an idea of the types of stock. Now I'm not going to go in and tell you what I'm investing in or exactly what or anything like that, because that's private information. But I will show you that here I've split it out. So my New York Stock Exchange, or my US shares, is 61% of my portfolio. Australia is about 36%. So I'm trying to keep it that around 60-40, so I need to continue to adjust that. And then I've got FX, which is known as, that's just the way it's tracked in the program that I use, which is ShareSite. That is 1% of my portfolio, and that is cryptocurrency. Another view that you could look at is, the types, which is trust units, cryptocurrency being the currency, stapled securities, ETFs, and ordinary shares. So a lot of it is actually coming from just general stocks of companies. Here's another view in terms of, industry. So I've got finance, health. Some of these are broken up into some weird and wonderful ways, but a lot of it is under tech, which is a bit of a problem. And I'm starting to branch out of that as much as possible, but which is the miscellaneous. So that's under other, and I've got some random different things in there, which I've just been experimenting, but a lot of it does come under tech services. So this, I need to start to spread out a bit more just to break it up and not have it so much in one area. Now, in terms of my approach to this is I like to follow a monthly investment, and I do have some investments in, Spaceship and some smaller, I guess some of the cheaper little marketing opportunities, and there's a whole lot of questions there that people probably have. So if you've got questions, do ask. But the way I like to do it is have regular investments, and that's monthly. I try to invest around $1,000, whether it's into existing or into new. And I try and just do that over time as dollar cost averaging. So regardless of what the price is, do buy it. However, I am keeping an eye out for if there is some cheaper bargains in terms of things are dropping, so I can, strategize that. However, I try not to think about it too much and just keep the consistency happening each month, because I think over time that's what's going to help. At this point of time, when filming this video, the average increase per day since February 2021 has been 0.14% per day of growth, which works out to be quite a lot. It works out to be about $450 per day I have made in the share market this year. And that once again comes from growth, compounding. I reinvest all my dividends, and that's why it continues to grow. And over a long period of time, or that compounding mechanism starts to really, really pay well. because, you know, what was $1 originally, if you get a dividend, now it's $1.50, it compounds on that, and it just snowballs. So that is that. So I really do hope these 3 areas have given you some insight, a better understanding of, you know, the types of things that I'm interested in and the types of things that, you know, I like to do. I've had quite a lot of questions about these things. It's kind of not really in too much detail, but I think it does give some perspective. And if you've got questions, or if you'd like to see more of this, do let me know. I have had a request for a day in the life video, which I want to work on and get that out to you guys, just while, you know, something different, something fresh, get to know me a bit more. And, you know, I am always talking about the running, the reselling, but, you know, here's to talk a bit more about the lifestyle and to talk a bit more about everything else in between. So if you want to know more about me and, you know, get behind the scenes of what happens in a week, I do have a weekly newsletter that comes out at 9 p.m. on Mondays every week. And you can sign up below. Check it out in the description, because, you know, I share a bit about my reselling journey and just other things that I'm doing through the week to help myself grow and learn. So yeah, that's it from me, guys. Really do appreciate it, and make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do the whole shebang, and hustle. Ciao.